Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a Ford Mustang Ecoboost Coupe. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah for giving me some time with this car. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time of mind the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.3-liter four-cylinder that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 33 on the highway with power outputs being 315 horsepower and then 350 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see that, well, first off, it's absolutely massive and we've got a few body lines, but they kept things pretty simple. Really cool light design with the new Mustang here, and then I like this darker trim here. It's actually closed off on the EcoBoost, and the GT it's all open. And then you guys can see here with the grille darker coloration, you got silver with the Mustang horse. And putting it all together, it has a very sleek front end design. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 235/50/18 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see here with the wheels, you got the silver, and notice how it's darker there in the center. Really cool look overall. And then look at the fender here, and then you guys can see the side skirt action there as well. And then even in EcoBoost format, the new Mustang just, again, has such a sleek design. I think it looks really good. Now taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function, remote start. We've got the opening here for the trunk as well as the Mustang logo. Now when it comes to the trunk, space back here is decent. Obviously the opening's kind of small. That's one of the things of the Mustang, but for a sports car it does a pretty good job with space. And then on the spoiler side of things right here, you guys can see pretty low profile. It is body painted, so it's kind of hidden. And then we have the new video game style taillights is what I like to call them, which is pretty cool. And look at the exhaust tips there at the bottom, and then you got parking sensors as well. And putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the looks here on the EcoBoost version of the Mustang. Now taking a look at the door panel, soft touch here at the top, and then you've got more soft touch down below. And it's interesting how you have like an insert there. It's definitely different. And then I like this trim that goes around here. Memory seats, we've got our window controls, and then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. Now this one has the upgraded interior, so you guys can see the nicer seats here in the rear. And I've said this in other Mustang reviews, the rear seat area is better for storage rather than passengers. And then with the front seat, look at the stitching, and then you guys can see perforated all down the center. It is partially power adjustable, partially manual. And then you can see the pedals, pretty fancy looking. And then you got your light controls there as well. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, soft touch all around, and then I do like the perforated texture right there on the steering wheel here. And the trim at the bottom is also pretty cool looking. We've got controls for center stack, volume control, steering adjustment, your drive mode select here on the other side with your adaptive cruise control, and then your regular stocks there on the back. Perfect! It's already on the Fox body style gauge cluster, but you guys can see full digital gauge cluster here in the center. We can obviously scroll through to see different bits of info on the car. Pretty standard stuff. And then just like other Mustangs, we can change the gauge cluster, so we've got a normal mode. You can also have it change with the drive modes. There's also the sport mode as well, if the camera will focus. Track mode. But, you know, as always, we gotta leave it on the Fox body because that's the gauge to go for. Now in reverse, we have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution on it's actually pretty dang solid. And then this one actually has the big infotainment system, so the upgraded unit. If you have the non-upgraded unit, it's like separate, but you can see this is all connected in one mega screen, I guess is what we'll call it. But response time with the screen's pretty good. It's got the climate controls always available at the bottom, and then I had it on the tab earlier, but this is like all your Mustang settings here, so you can set the colors with everything. You can set the custom mode, you got the track apps. So yeah, pretty cool all the stuff you have even on the EcoBoost. Got soft touch here on the dash, and then you guys can see Mustang there as well. Look at the stitching and everything down below. You see the vents here in the center, and then your engine stop start, auto stop start, and then that's to pull up the Mustang settings. Stability control, you can see your favorites, and then defroster kind of mixed in there too, volume control. And then we got our phone charging pad down below here, some USBs. Shifter for the 10-speed automatic transmission. Got the electronic parking brake, some cup holder action. Center console's pretty normal, nice padding here on the top. And then, yeah, good space in the glove box as well. Now here's a quick look at the window sticker, 2024 Mustang 201A equipment group. Here's everything that this one has. Total MSRP $41,040. And Let's see how it drives. Talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, do a blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. And I will set off in comfort because we got heated and ventilated seats, and it's kind of 76 degrees now. It's kind of getting warmer. So those ventilated seats, definitely a nice thing to have. Oh, I can get out here now. That's been blocked off forever. That's cool that I can go out this way. Freedom! Sometimes I weird myself out, guys. Let's see. Seat comfort's good, so that's a plus. Steering feels, almost feels, doesn't really feel better than the GT. Yeah, the more new Mustangs I drive, the more I kind of am not a fan of the steering. It just yeah, and what setting am I in? So we're normal comfort. Let's put it to sport. It just doesn't, like, I don't feel like I can feel what's happening with the front end of the car, and I felt that with the GT as well. It's kind of weird. Good torque, really good torque. Now I'll pop it into the custom slippery drag strip track sport mode. Got 2 million different drive modes, which isn't a bad thing. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, and I do like the like torquey feel that this has at low speeds. Again, the 2.3 is a really good, what I was saying is the 2.3 is a really good powertrain, and 10 speed's quick. 10 speed's quick. I mean, that's solid. That really is solid from an acceleration perspective. I'm impressed. So to sum things up, yeah, the steering, like, it's direct, like it's quick, but I can't feel what's happening with the front end. The way that I feel like what's happening is through the chassis, not the steering. Well, I still really like the car. And you can't complain when, like, Camaro's dying, Challenger's dying. It's like, this is it. But I do want to say, like, sincerely, Ford, fix the steering in this. It's really not, it's not the worst thing on the planet, but, like, because again, it's very direct. There's just no feedback. Like, there's got to be something they can do, because again, like, I own a GT350, and that, like, has so much feedback. Like, I know exactly what's happening with the car through the steering, and this is just, yeah, it's very numb. But outside of that, I like the interior. I like how it looks. I like how the EcoBoost drives overall outside of the steering, and the transmission is great. I mean, it's just super quick with the gear shifts. But let me know your thoughts.